Hello everyone, Winner here from Guitar Talk. Today we have an interesting topic to talk about, distortions. Let's get going. Welcome to Guitar Talk. Hey guys, so here I'm gonna give you a brief tour about my gear. Like here I have my pedal board. I'm not gonna tell you each effect because it will take us a century. This is my Gibson Les Paul Studio T from the 2016 collection. Cables, and this is my new small amplifier. That's the Marshall MG30 CFX. This guy is awesome from room practice. I recommend it to every one of you. So yeah, let's get going into our topic. So distortions. What are distortions? Like we have the definition of a distortion is an effect that alters your sound in a way that makes your clean signal sound dirty. Like for example, a D chord, clean, and now with a distortion. So yeah, you notice how that like completely messed up your sound and make it sound like really hard and really muddy. And yeah, that's the objective of a distortion. So basically what a distortion does is you have a wave, and your wave has a range in which it can move. Your distortion as a compressor to effect that we will talk about later. Your distortion will compress your sound, but the difference of your distortion is that its compression will release and recompress just a little. That release will be just a little, enough so that when it compresses again, your wave will have will create tiny more waves that eventually will mess up your sound and make it sound distorted. So as with anything, you have levels of it, and there are 3 levels of distortion: overdrive, distortion, and fuzz. So what's important about each one of them? Overdrive is the lower level, meaning it has less distortion, it has less power. It still gives you a kick, and it's more like a boost to your sound. And that's why it's used a lot in things like blues or jazz or classic rock in solos, to give your guitar that little kick it needs to really become bigger. And distortions, then you have like the next level of that compression, making it sound like even more heavy, even more dirty, muddy. And for example, this is used a lot in metal or in like heavy rock, alternative rock, 70s rock. I would say that nowadays music doesn't even use distortions. So if you're gonna play that, just disregard this video, don't watch it. Like you will not get much out of it. But if you listen like to rock, to modern rock groups, you're gonna notice they used a lot of distortion, not overdrive, distortion. And distortion works a lot for riffs, solos, and pretty much everything. And you can combine it with different effects to create like even crazier sounds. And that's a really particular thing about distortions, because then the next level of this distorted sounds is fuzz. Fuzz is so distorted that you can make great solos and like single note riffs like Purple Haze from Jimi Hendrix, or like what's the name, Satisfaction by Rolling Stones. And yes, it can create a good sound when it's used with single notes, because that kind of distortion and that kind of compression for riffs, like for power chords, it's so dirty that it doesn't sound good. And combining it with different effects for single notes, it would work with a wah, I guess, because of Jimi Hendrix, but you do not have that versatility that you have with overdrives and distortions. Both overdrive, distortions, and fuzzes have different controls, and different effects will have different controls. For example, both usually put into their fuzzes, distortions, and overdrives, they put a level note that will control the volume of your pedal, a tone knob that will control the amount of gain, if you can say that, that your guitar signal has when it's going out of the pedal. Like, it's more controlling whether your sound is gonna be more dim or more bright. So and finally you will have a drive. That's the amount of distortion, overdrive, or fuzz you are using. Others, like the MXR Distortion Plus or Jim Dunlop's Fuzz Face, will have only a distortion knob, like the amount of distortion you're putting in, and level knob, so you don't need to worry about the tone and about the tone. Others, like the one I got from Bose, the OS2, I really recommend that pedal, will have not a knob that is color, because the OS2 has it's an overdrive distortion, meaning that you can turn a knob and make it an overdrive or make it a distortion, or even mix them. So that's a really cool feature. So I'm gonna play you a little riff here, and then I'm gonna put my distortion and my overdrive. I'm sorry I don't have a fuzz here, but I'm gonna show you the amount of distortion, and you can imagine yourself what the fuzz will be based on the amount of distortion you will listen from my distortion. So the first time I'm gonna play this riff is gonna be completely clean, so that you realize how much distortion the amp is gonna get. So here you go. So yeah, that's the clean sound. Now I'm gonna put my amp's overdrive. So yeah, as you can notice that, like, compared to the clean sound, it sounds like punchier and more frontal, and it has a bit of distortion there. Now, distortion. So yeah, as you can notice, distortion is like a whole lot more than an overdrive. I'm gonna play you the overdrive again. And yeah, now that you have listened like a distortion, this is a D again with distortion. Now imagine a more distorted sound than that. That is a fuzz, and now you can notice that why chords and everything would seem so dirty that it doesn't even sound good. So yeah, that's basically it. Even if I play you right now something like Purple Haze or I don't know, Satisfaction, it will sound good, but it wouldn't sound as in the record. Like for example. Like, you can notice, it sounds good, it's not like the record. A distortion is a pedal that I would recommend for every rock guitar player, no matter you play classic rock or alternative rock or grunge or metal, you should have a distortion on your pedal board. And like, it's like, throughout the last decades, it is, if not the most, one of the most used effects in the whole history of music. So yeah, that was basically the video for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Like always, when you're here from Guitar Talk. Bye.